Welcome back to the series. This is React in WordPress. In the last few videos, we came up to this far. We have multiple templates with single page React apps. These are independent ones. And this one app we are about to make a little bit more complex by adding new stuff to it. We've already added a nav bar with multiple pages using hash router. You can actually see a little bit better what's happening. See, look at that, page one, and then this is the home page, right? So let's work on the home page this time. Let's go back, and we don't have to do anything here, but in the original app file or theme template, we're gonna go ahead and enable this home component, and we're bringing it from pages homepage right here. So pages homepage. So this is what it looks like, and we've explained the page component before. Now here we have one extra component, which is a layout component called content, right? So let's go see what content is doing. This is also just like the page. It's also getting children prop, and the width prop, and class names, right? So this width, I kept it separate. You'll see in the future videos why, and the class names will give you the class-based control over the layout, right? So let's go back to home page. So here you see the page is surrounding the whole thing, and then I'm creating a row, bootstrap row, and giving it a column size. I mean, if there was multiple columns, we could do different classes here. And then on the content here, we could do 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. I mean, this is nothing but a bootstrap class. I kept it separate so that it is easily identifiable as to what the size of the content is. And right here, it's saying it's the blog index using jQuery Ajax, and then I'm bringing in the blog Ajax, and this is coming from component blog Ajax. So where is the component? Right here, and blog Ajax. Here I'm loading use state and use effect from React, and the loader from React loader spinner, the link from React router DOM, and parse from React HTML parser, and $, from jQuery. The parser I'm using basically when you get data from WordPress, usually some HTML stays attached to it. So when you use parse, then the HTML actually gets rendered in your app using this parse. Otherwise, React will show the code. So at the beginning, creating a posts variable with a use state and with the set post function, and is pending is another variable which will control the loader spinner. So right here, I'm using use effect to use jQuery Ajax to load the post from WP REST API as a side effect. It's pretty straightforward. If you've been working with jQuery, you know all that. So once the data gets in, I'm using set posts function to load up the post into the post variable. And then before everything starts, I am using set is pending to true. And then once everything is done, I'm actually using the same function to turn it false. And because of that, when you see this line, you'll see if the pending is true, then this loader spinner will show up, and if it's false, it will go away. And once the posts are loaded, we simply do a map and then load the data accordingly. Post.id, post.title.rendered, and this is where I'm using the parse from here so that the HTML is rendered. And also the whole thing is I'm putting inside a link so that it actually goes to another page with a single page with the post ID. I don't have the page, single page ready yet, but at least I'm wiring it up so that in the near future I can use it to load the single post. And inside a Bootstrap badge, it's going to show me the post ID of each one so that it's easier to identify. So let's go back to the home page. Everything is said and done. Blog Ajax, this is what's gathering the data and display the data. Content is creating the layout, and from the navigation bar, once we just click on this React hash, we automatically end up in the home page. That being said, let's go back and refresh. There you go. The blog index using jQuery Ajax is pulling all the post data, and as you can see, these are the ones. And if you go inside, you'll see this is how I'm getting the .id and .title, .rendered. And because of this link, we can just click on it and it's gonna end up in that exact ID, 1148. Now let's go back. Let's see, it's 1109. Look at that, 1109. So this is a good setup for the future. Eventually, I'm going to go ahead and create a full CRUD app on this page template. So this is quite the setup for that. And all these other ones are still working. Now let's go add another page. Okay, we're back at the code and we are at the main nav bar. So here we have another page waiting for us. Let's enable that. Save it, and this one will go to Ajax insert. So let's first make sure we have a route enabled. Yes, we do. Ajax insert, and let's enable this page component, Ajax insert page, and we are loading it from pages Ajax insert page. So let's go see right here, Ajax insert page, what this is about. This is pretty much the shell, right? It has the header and it's calling this other component called blog Ajax insert. And we are loading it from components blog Ajax insert. So inside component, we go find it here. And here we have a whole bunch of things. Pretty much from top, we have a variable title using useState and content using useState, and here we're declaring a variable and giving it a name of an Ajax, WP Ajax function, test WP Ajax function, right? That's what I'm calling it. We'll get to this one right after we discover this fella. And here we have a function add post which is wired with this form right here. I mean, I didn't use the form, I just used like input and text area and gave them independent on change event. And they're going to be loading the content as like a set title e.target.value, set content e.target.value. And here we have a button with an on-click event. We're calling a function called add post, which is right here. And at the very beginning, we're declaring an object which will have the title, content, and status publish. I mean, these are the ones we need to create or insert a post in WordPress. And these two guys are going to be filled in with data as soon as they're typed, because they are wired with on change event, set title, set content, right? As soon as you type, they will become these variables, right? So the data will come from there, and manually we're adding a publish because as soon as we insert the post, we need it to be published also so that it shows up on our homepage, right? And now, good old-fashioned jQuery Ajax, and here we're calling the URL selfless data.ajax.url. Where this is coming from? This is coming from one of our functions files. I have it set up right here, script setup, this is where I'm actually loading all those Sass and JavaScript files. So if you look at this one on queue script, this is the main.js. I'm on queuing it through here, and I'm using an ID self-list main.js. And here I'm actually, with this piece of code, I'm localizing that data and connecting it with this JavaScript. And here, via this function, I'm actually declaring a set of variables, like a nonce in case we need to write data via the REST API, and then Ajax URL, which we're going to be using right now, and the root URL, which is the URL of the website in case we need it, right? So from here, it's going to look like self-list data dot Ajax URL will give us the Ajax URL, right? So let's go back. Okay, right here. So this is where we're getting the Ajax URL from. Type is post, and as a data, we are sending action, the Ajax function, and the data is a new post data, which is here. Now let's go look at this Ajax function, where that is and what that looks like, right? So it should be inside this function too, under Ajax. This is the guy. It's a very simple one. I'm actually, giving it both the privileges at this point, just making it easy. And as soon as this is run by that JavaScript or React script, it's going to receive this data called new post data, right? All right. So right here, from the action, we're calling this function test WP Ajax function. Right here, test WP Ajax function, and we're sending the new post data, and we're receiving it right here inside post args. And then I'm creating a variable of arguments where I'm collecting the post title, post content, and status. From here, I'm even sanitizing this text field. And once this is ready, I'm calling WP insert post and putting this args through and if this is successful, it's gonna send us this newly created ID, right? So now let's see if we have everything in place. All right, so we have our form right here. Let's use something very simple, A, and then some gibberish here as the content, and keep an eye out here. So as soon as I hit add post, look at that, it's successful, and it just gave us the recent post ID that it just created, 1152. Now if we go back to our home page, right here, we just created a new post. Let's just do another one. Numbers, let's go add 1153, and there you go, 1153. So now we have just finished creating a comparatively complex React app with data insertion, with data reading, and navigation with routing. So that's pretty much ends this series, which actually shows, or at least get you started with your React coding inside WordPress. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button and the subscribe button. This will help me bring more free contents like this to you every week. Thanks again.